Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to walk you through Retell AI Agents, what they can do, how the platform works, and I'll show you a real project I built on top of it using N8N as an orchestrator. By the end, you'll understand the core features like dynamic call transfers, agent types, dynamic variables, post-call data extraction, event logs, and more. And you'll also see like how all of it connects into a real automated calling workflow. So yeah, let's start with how dynamic call transfer works. The first way to do a dynamic call transfer is by passing a dynamic variable. When you trigger the call via the API, you can set a call transfer number over here within the call transfer function, and the agent will use that value to route the call. So the same agent can transfer to a different number depending on what you pass in at runtime. And the other method would be to allow the LLM to detect user intent. You can configure the agent with different numbers mapped to a different intent. So if the caller says they want billing support, the agent detects that intent and automatically routes to that billing team's number. So you just have to prompt that. The second feature that we can talk about is the phone number provider. You can use retail's own phone number system. You can buy their numbers, but you can also connect Twilio your own phone numbers with retail and use those numbers. So the way to do that would be through SIP trunking. You have to configure those within Twilio, and once you set up the SIP trunking, um, retail would be able to fetch those numbers over into their platform. Then we can also talk about agent types. We have different type of agents that we can configure in retail. We can do a single prompt agent, we can do multiple prompt agent. The difference between those is that in multiple prompt agent, you can structure the agent as a tree. There's a main starting prompt, and when the agent detects a specific user intent, it branches into a sub prompt designed for that use case. Each sub prompt handles one job really well, and the tree structure keeps things organized and precise. And then we also have conversation flow agents. Instead of writing prompts, you can use Retail's visual UI to build conversation flow. You drag in different actions, configure logic, and the agent follows that flow step by step. Uh, Great if you want strict control over what happens at each stage. And you can also configure your own custom LLM with Retail. You'll have to deploy your LLM somewhere and just provide it with the URL and the credentials to access that LLM, and Retail would be able to use your own custom LLM. Um, then we should also talk about dynamic variables and how we can use them within our prompts. So, for example, we can here is a dynamic variable that we can provide to the agent at runtime. So, dynamic variables are values you inject at the time you trigger the call. The agent can use these variables to personalize its conversation. For example, you might pass in a customer's name, their account year, or a specific offer. The same agent behaves differently depending on what you pass, and you can prompt that within the prompt. And then we have call metadata. So metadata is slightly different. It's the data you attach to the agent, not for the agent's conversation, but for your own systems after the call. The event logs you receive will include whatever metadata you passed in. So if you're managing multiple customers or campaigns with one agent, you can tag each call with an ID, a campaign name, anything that is related to a call, and use that to update your databases accordingly. And then we have retail's data events. So Retail has a post call data extraction feature. where retail can automatically extract structured data from the transcript. You configure a prompt that tells it what to look for. Was the call answered? Did the person confirm an appointment? Was there objection? And it returns as clean and valuable data. So, and then we have call event logs. You can configure a webhook to receive real-time event logs for every call. There are three events. The first event fires when the call is scheduled, the second fires when the call starts, and the third event fires after the call ends. The third one includes the full transcript and all call data. This is the one you'll be using for most downstream automations. Then we have MCPs and functions. Custom functions let the agent call external APIs. For example, you can add your own code, call external APIs over here, and use dynamic variables to call those custom APIs. And you write a function basically, and the agent can trigger it when needed, get the data back, and use that data to inform what it says next. Classic use case: call transfer or pulling a customer's order status in real time. And then we have MCP tools. MCP tools takes this further. You configure MCP tools and train the agent through the prompt on when and how to use each tool. The agent decides during the conversation to invoke the tool, get the results, and adjust what it says accordingly. This is how you build the agents that can genuinely reason about external data in real time. And yeah, so let me now walk you through a real demo N8N project that I've built. Um, Within N8N, we have a workflow that gets external system triggers, and this workflow acts as an orchestrator. Retail handles the actual call, and the workflow starts when our external system fires a webhook. This event carries all the data we need: who to call and which agent to use, and any context that we should provide to the agent. It also stores our data in the main database: the calling number, the external ID, the timestamp, a call counter which starts at 0. This lets us track everything and retry intelligently. And then we can also call the retail API through this workflow. Before we do, we attach the metadata and dynamic variables right here in the workflow, so the agent knows who it's talking to and can personalize the conversation. We've also configured uh, within Retell a webhook that receives all the event logs, and this is a separate webhook or an automation in N8N. And Retell sends its events webhook to the second N8N workflow. The first two events scheduled and started, we log them, and the third one is the one we care about most. It comes right after the call with the full transcript. In the workflow, we check was the call answered. If not, we increment the call count, schedule a retry after a certain time, and we do 3 attempts for this use case. If the call was answered, we run a post call analysis on the transcript and update our databases. uh, we use, we actually have three separate databases: one for transcript, because those are the large blob of text that need their own table; one main database for our call records, and within it we store the number, the external ID, timestamp, status, etc. And one for call counts, tracking like every retry attempts per call. So, yep, that is the full picture, and all of the retails feature for building powerful voice agents, and a real world workflow showing how to orchestrate calls, handle retries, extract data, and keep your databases in sync. Thanks for watching.